Yeah. So this is Coach Mo, and I wanted to do a video today because I haven't done a video. I have been working on some content, but I haven't done a video in quite some time, and there are some things that I feel like the Lord is impressing on me to give some encouragement to people and really just share my experience in the process. And that's mainly what I want to do with my platforms, just to really share the things that I have learned from and some of the things that I have encountered and how I've learned some good nuggets and just share them. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is that my gardening journey. So I have maybe for the last 3 years or so started gardening, and I call it my garden of 7 pots. It is now dwindled down to maybe about 2 or 3, but that's still what I call it because 7 is my favorite number. So anyway, so I was planting lots of seedlings, and I usually get the itch to plant like between May and April when the weather starts to get like really pretty and the skies are really blue, and you have a little bit of cold mornings and stuff like that. So anyway, so I was planting with the idea to have like a big floral harvest for the summer because I like flowers, and I think that I like butterflies too, and so having flowers is one way to attract butterflies. So there you go. It also attracts bees and other things too, and I'm okay with that as well. But anyway, so I planted about 60 flowers, and the seedlings bloomed, and I was getting all excited. And then as we progressed into June and the weather started to get warmer, my plants were dying. And I'm like, why are these plants dying? I don't understand what this is about. And why am I not able to get my full harvest out of these plants? Well, I was watching another content creator, and she was talking about gardening, and she was talking about how, she has had the experience of having a garden graveyard where the plants go to die because something didn't go right. Either there wasn't enough nutrients in the soil, she didn't water properly, she forgot about the plants, or all the things happened, and then the plant got to get thrown in the trash. And then she began to talk about the zone that she's in. And the Holy Spirit was like, you need to recheck your zone. And I was like, recheck my zone? I'm in zone 6A. I know this is me in my brain. I'm in zone 6, right? So I go to look, put in my city, put in the zip code. I'm in zone 9A or 10 something, but it's not 6. Okay. So the thing that I realized is that I was gardening for zone 6. I am in 9A. So part of the opportunity to improve was understanding that I was not, one, growing the proper food or plants for my current location, and I did not plant in the right season. So I had planted some summer squash, and the summer squash died. It grew, it germinated, and it got to a seedling, and the seedling came up, and it grew like a second set of leaves, but never matured after the third set of leaves because it got too hot, and the leaves were burning. And when I looked at the instructions, it said that these plants should be in full sun for 6 to 8 hours and all of these things. So I'm like, why is this not growing right? Well, first of all, I was looking for instructions in the wrong zone, growing zone. Secondly, for my zone, those plants should be planted earlier after the first frost, which is in February. I planted them in May, thinking that I knew what I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing. And so there was something that I had learned. So in February, I'm going to start again and replant to see then, if how it turns out or what have you. And then I'll let you know how that happens. But as an encouragement, just because it doesn't work the first time you tried, doesn't necessarily mean that it can never work. It just means that you need to recheck some things, maybe some facts you think you know, but you don't really know. And some of those facts may be opinions. Because I knew I was in 6A until I researched and found out I was in 9A. And my climate, the zone for growing those items, they can thrive in my area, just not at this part of the season, on this part of the year. So I have to start earlier so that they can fully mature and be able to sustain the heat and the temperatures at this time, because by that point my plants will have matured and have had the ability to sustain the harsher temperatures. And also I had to understand that where I wanted my garden, because it aesthetically looked nice, may not have been the proper place based on the placement of the sun and the reality of the way my house sits and where the sun, how the sun hits my backyard according to the time of day, from because we have so many hours of the day that have sun, because it gets dark right like around 8 o'clock. So my plants are getting sun from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is a very long time. And during that particular process, the sun is scorching. It's 90, 80, almost 100 degrees outside. And these things are going to have to be able to withstand that type of pressure heat from the sun, and just have a place of endurance. So with that being said, if you start something and it did not go well, continue researching, continue looking to see what areas you can do better, you can be better. Write some stuff down. Make sure you have the right research for the right thing, and that you are not embarking on something that you have not fully researched, or you have taken opinions as facts as opposed to true facts, that prohibit the success of your ambition. Anyway, my little Bella is having a bark challenge with the dog next door, so I'm going to go bring her inside. Y'all have a great day. Chat with you soon.